we have grouped together recipes that have like ingredients or feature similar produce. And so this is an actual tool that's available to you where you have the 3 recipes. It has a grocery list as well as tips and all the recipes that you need. And the one that we are focusing on this week features Brussels sprouts and cabbage. So today we are so fortunate that we are going to have a food demonstration provided to us by a good friend, Ashley Board, who is our FCS agent in Western Kentucky over in Caldwell County. So we're kind of starting west with our food demonstrations. We're going to work our way east across the state with our different FCS agents. But she is going to demonstrate the chicken and Brussels sprouts 1-pan meal for you. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to hand it over to Ashley so that she can take it away.
All right, thank you, Heather. I would like to welcome everyone today. And once again, I am Ashley Board, the Family and Consumer Sciences Agent at the Caldwell County Extension Office. And I'm excited to share with you our chicken and Brussels sprouts 1-pan meal. Who doesn't love a 1-pan meal? I know that those lucky dishwashers at my house love when there are just a few dishes to wash. Anytime we are in the kitchen, we want to make sure and wash our hands before we begin. And I have already done that, so we will dive into the recipe. For the recipe, we need 2 skinless, boneless chicken breasts cut into bite-sized pieces, 1 tablespoon olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, 12 to 14 Brussels sprouts, trimmed and quartered, 1 cup fresh mushrooms, sliced, 1 red bell pepper, diced, and that equals about 1 cup, 1 medium yellow onion, diced, also equals about 1 cup, 2 cloves of garlic minced, a half a cup of half and half, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, and 3/4 cup Parmesan cheese. While we're preparing our ingredients, preheat the oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit. I have already washed, diced, and chopped our ingredients today, but I wanted to remind you of a couple of food safety tips when handling knives and working with raw poultry or meat. When you're cutting, you want to make sure and curl your fingertips back behind your knuckles into kind of a claw shape, and that will help prevent you from slicing your fingers. When possible, if you can have a separate cutting board for your raw poultry and then a cutting board for your vegetables or fruits, that would be best practice to prevent cross-contamination. And with any utensil that you use, your cutting boards need to be washed thoroughly with hot soapy water after each use. And then you can air dry them or pat them dry with clean paper towels. Our ingredients today, our featured ingredient, Brussels sprouts, does call for them to be trimmed and quartered. I have done most of them, as you can see, but I wanted to show you this. The stem end can get dry during storage, so to trim that, we will just simply cut off a little bit of the end to give you a fresh base to work with, and then remove the outer layer of the leaves. If your next layer did not look too appetizing, you could go ahead and remove another layer if needed. This one looks perfect. So to quarter, we will cut it in half. Notice I curled my fingertips, which can be a little harder to do when you've got smaller vegetables. And then we're going to cut those halves in half. To begin preparing, we'll heat our oil in an oven-safe skillet over medium heat. I am not using an oven-safe skillet, as you can see, and that's okay. I have a handy baking dish right here next to me to transfer, so it will make it a 2-pan meal today. If you're not sure if your dish is oven-safe, you can check your instruction manual. I have already sauteed our chicken in our oil with a little bit of salt and pepper to taste. So we will move to the next step and add our vegetables. So here are our Brussels sprouts. I have about 14 today. Our cup of sliced mushrooms. Our bell pepper. Our onion. And our garlic. We'll saute our vegetables until they are tender for about 3 to 5 minutes. And while I'm sauteing these, let me tell you a little bit about our key ingredient, the Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts got their name from the capital of Belgium, because that is where they were first thought to be cultivated. Brussels sprouts look like mini heads of cabbage, and they're similar in taste, but they have a slightly milder flavor and a more dense texture. Brussels sprouts are a good source of vitamin C, folate, potassium, and vitamin K, so they're both nutritious and delicious. When selecting Brussels sprouts, look for those that are similar in size, they're firm and compact, they're bright green, and they have leaves that are free of blemishes. You want to avoid those that are soft or puffy or have yellow or wilted leaves. You want to wash your Brussels sprouts before preparation, but not before storing. So store your unwashed Brussels sprouts in a perforated plastic bag for 3 days or less. When you're ready to prepare, go ahead and rinse them. And Brussels sprouts can be prepared in a variety of ways, including boiling, microwaving, steaming, roasting. I encourage you to try Brussels sprouts and any other vegetable for that matter, using different cooking methods until you find your very favorite. Experiment with different seasonings until you find that perfect combination. Boiled Brussels sprouts may not be your favorite, but roasted Brussels sprouts might change your life. So you wouldn't know that if you had just given up after having Brussels sprouts for one time, or any other vegetable for that matter. Once your vegetables are tender, we're going to transfer them to our baking dish. Spread that out evenly. And now we're going to combine our half and half, our nutmeg, and a little bit of salt and pepper. And you know, I did leave that spoon sitting right over here. I apologize for that. And we'll pour our half and half mixture over the top. Sprinkle with our Parmesan cheese. And now we're ready to bake this for 25 to 30 minutes. And let me show you what our finished product will look like. This recipe yields 6 one-cup servings. Thank you for joining me today. Heather, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much, Ashley, for that. I'll leave the recipe card up here for just a second so you can take a quick look or snap a picture. I also know that the link to the recipe is going to be posted online for easy access for you. I know that I have some Brussels sprouts that need to be used, and so I'm thinking this is exactly what I'm going to do. I can't believe how much the vegetables bulked up that meal. So just as you were assembling the vegetables within to cook those down, I was just thinking that is so much and is a great family recipe because you can feed so many folks with it. And I'm so glad that you mentioned different cooking methods because boiled Brussels sprouts are not my thing, but I do believe that sauteed or roasted Brussels sprouts can be life-changing or a game changer. And that's pretty much the main way that we prepare them in our home. So thank you so much, Ashley, for all of that great information. You may be curious, how do I get this meal plan? How can I get all 3 of these recipes with all the other resources, including the grocery list, the pantry staples list, all of that. And so what you have to do is as simple as contacting your local FCS agent at your county extension office and simply request a plated up Kentucky Proud meal plan that features Brussels sprouts and cabbage. And then you just simply have to start preparing those recipes. If you're unsure if you have an FCS agent or even what the phone number is for your extension office, I encourage you to visit extension.ca.uky.edu, and you're going to be able to search by county for that information so that you can start cooking right away. So today was the first of 3 recipes. We're actually going to see 2 more food demonstrations this week. So I encourage you to visit, check in with us tomorrow and on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, and right here on the University of Kentucky FCS Extension Facebook page. You'll also find a Zoom link there as well. So tomorrow, we're going to get to see another Brussels sprouts recipe by Christy Shive, and she is our FCS agent in Warren County, so right there kind of in South Central. And then on Friday, we're going to move across the state into Eastern Kentucky, where Leslie Workman, our Pike County FCS agent, is going to demo for us our cabbage noodle casserole, which is perfect comfort food for this time of year, because I know that there's some cold weather that's around the corner. The last thing that I want to leave you with, and if you have questions, go ahead and pop those into the chat box or in the comment section. But I want to encourage you to connect with us even after these demonstrations. So we have a website, plateitup.ca.uky.edu, where you can access all 140 plus recipes that we have within Plated Up Kentucky Proud, and those all feature produce that's grown right here in Kentucky. Follow us on Facebook, give us a like, as well as Instagram and Twitter. And I will say that I forgot one, that you can simply search for Plated Up Kentucky Proud on YouTube, and you can find our channel where we have several fast frame videos that kind of walk you through how to prepare some of our favorite recipes. So
we have a question.
Yeah, I'll take your question.
Both on Facebook and on the Zoom chat about using frozen Brussels sprouts. Can we use the frozen Brussels sprouts in this recipe?
I'm going to say yes, that you can, and that is an excellent option if a fresh Brussels sprout is not available to you in your community, whether at the farmer's market, at the grocery store. But I also want to check in with Ashley and see if she's ever prepared this recipe with frozen Brussels sprouts, or if she has any insight on that as well.
I have not prepared this one. I would think I've prepared other plated up Kentucky Proud recipes with frozen produce, so I would think it would be fine. The only thing I can think of is it could possibly change the texture of the Brussels sprouts a little bit, but I say give it a try.
For sure. I agree with Ashley. And I would say it's going to have a little bit more moisture just because it has been frozen. You want to be careful when you are quartering those Brussels sprouts as well, because they may be a little bit more difficult to chop. So just keep that in mind as well. But great question.
Melinda says she's going to try this tonight. So Melinda, if you will post your picture of your finished product on either the Plated Up Kentucky Proud Facebook page or our Facebook page for Family and Consumer Sciences, we'd love to see yours or anybody else's product. We'd love to see how it turns out for you.
Absolutely.
Liz says that she has done it with frozen Brussels sprouts and it was great.
Oh, perfect. There we go. There we go. All right. Well, if there aren't any other questions, thank you again so much for settling in with us and joining us today. And we hope to see you back tomorrow, same time and place. Thank you all.
Thank you for having this.
Oh, we're so glad that you were able to join us.
You're welcome.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.